So there's a pretty fascinating article out. If you guys have been paying attention to politics, you're likely aware that Ron DeSantis is rising in the ranks of Republicans. He is going full fascist mode. He's even now passing stuff that would require polling of like schools in terms of the political beliefs of teachers and students. They're also passing some crazy stuff when it came to their education and their academia. And what they teach in their schools. So he's very scary. But he is Trump light. When he ran for governor, he ran as basically Trump schmuck and his protege and stuff like that. And so it's interesting because Trump is basically watching from the sidelines, and what's going on is he still wants to run in 2024. But now I think there was a poll that came out that had DeSantis above Donald Trump for the Republican primary. So he's now a threat to Donald Trump. So as we can see here from this article on Raw Story, what it says here is Trump watching warily as DeSantis rises as 2024 candidate. Quote, he built him and he could tear him down. So it says Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is increasingly seen as a likely 2024 presidential candidate, and Donald Trump is reminding allies that he could put an end to those White House ambitions. The Florida governor has been careful not to anger Trump as his own political fortunes rise in the Republican Party. But Politico reporter Marc Caputo told MSNBC's Way Too Early that DeSantis remains wary of upsetting the twice-impeached one-term president ahead of a potential campaign of his own. Quote, best we can tell is most of the tension, Democrats hoping that tension is true, and some of the folks from the inner circle who see DeSantis as a likely presidential candidate if Trump doesn't run, but don't see themselves on DeSantis' team. So politically speaking, it's almost an unholy alliance of strange bedfellows, where you have Democrats and some Trumpy-style Republicans hoping to stoke this dissension. Best we can tell, there's no feud, and as best we can tell, there's no tension. Then it says, but privately at least, Trump seems to be keeping a wary eye on DeSantis. And so the quote here is, DeSantis has been respectful of former President Trump. Trump on occasion does like to remind people, at least a bit subtly from what we understand, that he built DeSantis, and the suggestion is he could tear him down as well. There's probably truth to that. So there's some basically behind the scenes subtle, fear, I guess, from Donald Trump. Like, man, DeSantis might take my place, because he's clearly going to be, in my opinion, probably going to be the 2024 Republican candidate who will be the most Trumpian-like. The other people that I see, Liz Cheney will 100% run. Liz Cheney will run from the opposite side of Trump, not in terms of policy necessarily, but just in terms of let's bring the conservative party back to being subtly racist rather than overtly racist. I think Ron DeSantis will just do the same shit Trump does. They even look the same. He literally looks like he's his son. They look related. But the thing for Trump is he doesn't want DeSantis to be the Republican nominee. He wants to be the Republican nominee. He wants to be president of the United States in 2024. So this can prove to be an issue for them. And I actually think this is going to be a very interesting situation just to see what's going to end up happening, because you could argue that as time goes on, like by the time 2023 rolls around, which is when presidential campaigns really start, late in 2023, basically what that can, by that point, Republicans may just be over Trump. Trump may be, yesterday's news. DeSantis may be the protege who can actually beat Donald Trump, especially since DeSantis isn't banned from literally every social media platform known to man, right? So I definitely think DeSantis, with the power of a few years, has the time to overpower Donald Trump. I think I had read a report that said Trump actually was thinking about DeSantis as his vice president. I would not say that that's unlikely, especially because DeSantis seems to be sidestepping any potential tension with Donald. But definitely, DeSantis definitely has these political aspirations. I do think he will run for president. It's a scary thought. I really, really pray to God he doesn't win. But definitely don't underestimate his political clout amongst Republicans. A lot of Republicans like his fascism, and they want that more often. They want schools to be strictly teaching conservative stuff and conservative talking points and all this kind of stuff. So, if I'm Trump, I'm scared. I'm scared shitless if I'm Trump because he can beat you. He can beat you, especially given how handicapped you are now. You don't even have social media, and given the time, once like 2 years pass, I don't think people are gonna like Trump as much. It'll just be, as time goes on, you kind of start to lose feelings and lose, attention and stuff like that. So it's going to be very, very interesting to monitor this situation.